Rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Lives in your head rent free. Rent free. Rent free.
What's up, everybody? This is your main man, Tech Supreme, in the building. I don't know why I sound like that. It's super weird. But welcome to another episode of Rent Free with Tech Supreme, episode 11. Now, do I have my previously desired amount of topics? I don't. I, for some reason, had a hard time figuring out what I was going to talk about this week. That's why I'm a little bit late, but we're here. We're going to power through like we always do. And we're going to get to the podcast. I do want to say that if you listen to this podcast every week, I appreciate you. I value you. I value your opinions. I value the conversations I've been having about the podcast. I value you're taking the time out to listen. It means a lot to me. It means the world to me. And I appreciate it. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on your streaming platform of your choice, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, because I upload all the videos and snippets on TikTok, and the video is available on YouTube. I appreciate that. The people who follow after they see it, the people who comment, the arguments I get into, because last week I got into an argument about the baby. That was or Boosie Bad Take. Got into a little bit on TikTok argument, and the guy was talking super crazy. But I definitely, told him that, like, keep that same energy if I ever see you. I mean, I didn't say that, but I'm, you gotta. They want to get a reaction, so you can't really give them a full reaction. But you gotta let them know that you're not someone to play with, because you're not. So it's a good thing, right? Dialogue, I guess. This episode, I do want to talk about some things going on in my life, things that I've done this past weekend, and things I'm going to do next weekend. Mixed in with a couple other topics that are just kind of, topics that are just floating around that everyone's kind of talking about. Up first is the naked bike ride. Now, I don't remember when I did my first naked bike ride. I know it was in the 2010s, so maybe 13 or 14, perhaps. I don't know. I did it myself. Like, no one I knew was doing it, and I was really heavy into biking then. And I saw that it was happening, and I was going through just a real pivotal time in my life, and I just decided I'm going to do this crazy thing. So I went down there. I was feeling real self-conscious, and I saw someone I knew, and he was like, "Hey, man, just be free, take your shirt off." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." And then someone else was like, "Well, that's what it's all about, bro. It's all about being positive, being body positive, loving yourself, loving the skin you're in." So yeah, I did that, and I got hooked. I went back for a few years after that. I got some other friends into it, and now it's like their favorite shit. And me and my wife have done it twice now. In 2018 was the last time I rode, and I had this bike that my homie Ben helped put together. It was like an old Swin, and it was a fixed gear, single gear bike, so there's no gear switching. It's just you and whatever it is in the road, right? And like if it's a hill, it's all you. And 2018, I struggled hardcore. I guess I wasn't riding enough. I don't know if I was not being active enough, but it was the worst. And I had never ever struggled that hard with a naked bike ride before. It's about a 12 to 14 mile course around the city. And it was the pits. Like when we hit Russell, I turned to my homie Charlie and I was like, "Yo, man, I don't know if I can do this, man." Like, it was rough. I had the worst time. He got me water because I thought I was gonna pass out. Like, we were riding and he got me water. So shout out to Charlie, Charlie Dank. That's the homie. But it was real rough. And I didn't do 2019 because my bike had broken. That bike was a piece of shit. It broke and it didn't get it fixed. So I missed 2019, and then 2020, COVID, so that zapped out, the bike ride. It just didn't happen last year. So this year, me and my wife got bikes. So she got her bike in 2018 for that ride, and she did fine. She did absolutely fine. But it was me who was like just pure struggle. And so I got a new bike earlier this year, in spring, and I made it a point to train so incredibly hard for this race. Last Thursday I did 20 miles in Madison County Trail. That week I did before even started the bike ride, I did 32 miles on the bike before the naked bike ride. I've been riding for the last for a couple months. I've been riding at least a couple times a week, weather permitting. Sometimes it's a little too hot. You know, if you don't get a good start on it, you really shouldn't be out there like that. This bike ride is not a race, but this naked bike ride on Saturday, I absolutely crushed it. I was so worried about hills because that's what got me in 2018. That killed me was the hills, and I just breezed through it. The ride was actually easy for me, and I was in the front the whole time. I was going too fast. I was like so far in the front, like I was behind the initial police car. I had to brake a lot going uphill, sometimes even downhill. Like I was going so fast, and I was so happy and proud of myself for not only finishing the race, the ride, which I did finish in 2018. Don't get me wrong, I just struggled through it. Like at the end of the race, like I was at the back of the ride. I keep calling it a race. It's not a race. I gotta get that. It's not a race. It's just a ride. But I struggled so hard, and for me to be back in the front of the pack, just having an easy time. It was 14 miles, and honestly, I didn't hurt at all. It was just literally easy. A lot to do with my bike, because now I have a gear bike, so I can switch gears, but I hardly touched the gears. I was in 7th gear most of the time. My bike goes all the way up to 8. But if I went to 8, I'd be going too fast, because it gives more resistance, and your tires spin faster. So if I went to 8, I'd be going way too fast. So when I drop down, it's because I didn't want to go too fast, especially downhill. But you get the point. But I was really proud of myself. That was a really personal victory for me. I'm still gonna ride consistently. I was supposed to ride today, but the day's getting away from me. But I took a week off of lifting weights in the garage. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go lift weights. But I loved it so much. And if you ever thought about you wanting to do the naked bike ride, just do it. Don't be ashamed, or don't be funny about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be corny. It's a fun, liberating freedom experience. I was riding with my boy Nate. My wife was there, my friend Melanie was there, but I was actually next to my boy Nate, and he saw the dude, the Pete guy with the eyes. He's an artist in St. Louis. He's known for painting eyes. I forgot his last name, but Nate knows him, so he yelled out, and he looked back and said, "Hey man, this is freedom," and I felt that. I 100% felt that the naked bike ride is literally freedom, and I love the fact that you can see people and you can see the expression on their face. I saw 2 or 3 people go like, "What the fuck?" Like I can see them say, "What the fuck?" Like they're just completely lost, and it's hilarious. But then I saw more people this year that was cheering and super happy, super just ecstatic to see it. Which I thought was amazing. Now, there's one incident that happened. Remember in 2018, we were riding by Tower Grove Park in the naked bike ride, and somebody was shooting paintballs at people. Very malicious, very evil. And this year, I was in the front, I was riding, and I was next to the guy who was the pace setter. So, he would, and he's a super rider. This guy, I don't know who he was, but, he was doing tricks the whole time. He was popping the wheelies up, and I thought he was being an asshole showboater. But then at one point, he's riding the bike, jumps off the bike, runs next to the bike, and then hops back on. And I said, "Oh shit, this motherfucker is for real out here." He was amazing. So we were riding close to each other, a couple feet away, and we were passing on Tucker, I think, or Market Street, downtown St. Louis. I didn't know this existed, but there was a homeless bank right next to the St. Louis Post Dispatch. It was a homeless camp. And I knew it was going to be a problem because when we pulled up at this light at the street, there was a gas station, and this crackhead lady was just going off, and she started walking and yelling and screaming. So I was like, that's not good energy. So we made a left, and as soon as we passed this camp with tents and homeless people, a water bottle just flies by my face and almost hits the pace setter dude next to me. He had to swerve, and it was filled, and it was a big joint. You know what I'm saying? A big water bottle, a smart water joint, but it wasn't smart water, but it was big. And if that would have connected and you didn't see it coming, you are going down. And there's thousands of people behind you. I'm not even exaggerating. There's a couple thousand people behind you at all. And so there's no room for error. If you fall, you crash, you're going to make more crashes. And it's just a shame that people respond like that. And you don't know what's going on in that dude's life, but he was filled with so much anger and negativity. That kind of sucked. And I got real pissed off at that because it barely missed me. and like I just saw it coming, so I saw it, but then like it almost hit dude, and I was like, man, I can't stand people like that. So that was crazy, but overall, good experience. Can't wait for next year. Again, if you ever felt like you want to do something like that, just do it. Just live your best life. Do you, and just like don't hold back. And I definitely talked about that longer, and I kind of knew I would talk about that longer than normal. I normally give it like 2 minutes, 3 minutes per topic, but I just really love the naked bike ride. It's one of my favorite things in St. Louis. Period. It's one of my favorite activities in St. Louis. If you get a chance, maybe next year, if you don't want to, if you don't not ready for all that, then let's go down there to the Grove and see what it's about. See the energy. I guarantee you'll like it. It's fun. It's amazing. My phone keeps going off. All right, so the second topic is, so that's what I did last weekend. Now, next weekend is another weekend in St. Louis that's really special to me. It's Paint Louis. Paint Louis is it's a yearly, in September, art festival, art and music and hip hop festival in downtown St. Louis, just south of the Arch grounds. So it's down on the river by the flood wall. So the people behind Paint Louis, and there's a lot of people behind it, but for the person I know who's mostly in charge of it is John Harrington of the Midwest Avengers, which is a great guy. They bring in graffiti artists from the country, from all over the country and all over the world to paint these beautiful, beautiful murals on the flood wall. And they do this every year, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, of course, they didn't do it last year because of COVID. It is what it is. But this year, they're back. And this is one of the things that I'm actually an official sponsor of it. And I don't sponsor, my company, Illustrious, doesn't sponsor a lot of things. But I feel so passionate about art and, like, this event that, like, no questions asked, I'm sponsoring it. And so every time they ask me, I'm there. I do the flyers. I do some of the branding. And then I DJ, one of the days. Just for like an hour or two. I think this year I'm only going to do an hour Sunday at 1. But I can't wait. The artists there are incredible, absolutely insane. Every mural is like, you see graffiti, and like the surface level graffiti is just like fonts and text, which is still incredibly complicated and incredibly artistic to pull off. Sometimes you see some BS ones, some real corny ones, but this is art. Like what they do with the spray paint and the spray cans is complete art. It takes amazing amount of skill. It's very impressive. So if you are in St. Louis or the Metro East area, you should definitely come down to Paint Louis this weekend. Friday is usually a setup day. I might try to get down there Friday or Saturday just to see, just like to drive by or go hang out. I know this is the first year that they got Four Hands collaboration with Four Hands makes one of my favorite beers citywide, and they have like a Four Hands Paint Louis edition can, which I have to get some. I have to. But yeah, go down there, check out the art. Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you can actually go. I would say go Friday or go Saturday early, and then come back Sunday so you can see the finished pieces and just kind of watch how they finish it up. And like, it's so dope. And also, the music is gonna be a bunch of performances. I'm DJing. I think DJ Needles is right after me, and he's one of my favorite DJs in St. Louis. And plus, he's the homie. It's going to be so much fun energy. The energy there is always beautiful, always love, always about art, always about music. It's just the shit. So I can't wait for that. Now, let's get to some more stuff that has nothing to do with me, per se. I want to talk about Donda. Kanye West finally dropped his album, Donda. And I haven't listened to it yet. I kind of have no interest in listening to it. I don't like things when they get like super overhyped. So I'm not like die hard to have to listen to it. I am interested in listening to it. I keep hearing it's more like it's very heavily gospel. I'm not really into gospel music. The features are crazy. I think one of the big news articles that's coming out now about it is that people are super upset. Artists are upset that he got their songs taken off, and a lot of people got their songs taken off. I think he took the baby off. He took Soulja Boy off. He took Dev Lemons off. And I'm sure there's more. And actually, he does have the baby on here. So it was a weird thing where like he was gonna take the baby off and then he put him back on, and I don't know. It's all most likely publicity stunts. Honestly, people just upset just to be upset. I am interested. Like some of this like it's kind of one of those albums in which they put features on every song. There's a Pop Smoke song, rest in peace. There's a Griselda song, which I'm looking forward to listening to. There's a Jay Elec and Lox song, Jay Electronica and Lox, I said it kind of fast, that I'm looking forward to. Of course, I'm a big Weeknd fan. He's on there. So I'm going to give it a listen. I like to usually wait until the hype kind of dies down. I don't want to feel pressure to listen to something. When I listen to it, I listen to it. If you like it, if you listen to it, let me know what you think about it. That's pretty much it on that. Donda, it's I don't know how I feel about Kanye West music. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I have a hard time separating the artist from the art, especially if they say crazy shit or they do dumb shit or they say dumb shit. And Kanye West has had he says a lot of dumb shit, right? Like, he's a man, he goes through a lot and he does it in the public eye. And in the last few years, a lot of mental health issues have come up that he's, talked about very adamantly. So, like, given the benefit of the doubt, but like, I don't know, the whole slavery's a choice. I'm still not over that. I know people are. People move on real quick. I'm not. But, is he a genius? Yes, to a large degree. Do I like his music? Not all the time. Like, he's like not all the time. So like, I'm one of the classic Kanye fans, right? Like the college dropout, late registration, graduation fan. But of course, he's made great records in his career, so there's going to be great records on this. Shout out to St. Louis's Chop Squad DJ for getting on this album. Like, what an amazing, like, he's an amazing producer, and like, he deserves all the accolades that he's getting, all the platinum plaques. Like, he's a St. Louis homegrown producer, and he's just absolutely amazing. So shout out to him for being on Donda. That's crazy. But moving on to the next topic. Because, I like to keep the podcast to a reasonable time frame. So we're going to probably go a little bit faster through the rest of these. The Drake's cover. And if you haven't seen the Drake cover, I forgot the name of Drake's album. Certified Lover Boy. And the artwork for the album, and I think, again, this is just a publicity stunt, is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 women emojis that are pregnant holding their bellies. So he's a lover boy. He's just destroying families left and right, is basically what I get from this cover. And I got into it with the homie on Twitter because I said, this is probably the worst looking cover, that I've ever seen. Like, one of the worst looking covers. And he's like, this is marketing and like they're doing this and that. And I was like, yeah, despite all that, I get it. Like, this emoji is going to be forever remembered for Certified Lover Boy, and that's cool. But overall, I think it's corny. I think the message is corny. I think the design is corny. And just as someone who does graphic design for a living, I think I have a valid opinion in that field. I've been doing it So, do I like it? No. I mean, is it going to be a good album? Yes. It's Drake. I'm a huge Drake fan. Been a huge Drake fan since October's very own. Whatever the comeback season, right? So, yeah. Is it going to be good? Yes. Is the cover horrible? Yes. Absolutely. And that's okay. But that cover is pretty bad. And I always, every time I see this cover, right, I always think about we talk about this a lot on the show, the gay agenda ruining the black family. Like, this type of shit's ruining black families. Like, you have 12 baby mamas, bro. Like, that's horrible. Like, that's ruining families. What are you out here doing? But we're looking forward to that. I think it comes out next week, which is another marketing ploy to go against Kanye West. Like, because you guys remember when Kanye and 50 Cent went at it for the album release, and now we're going to get this next week. For me, it's all just a little ego battle that everyone's just fucking having. Who gives a shit? But I'll probably bump the Drake before I bump the Kanye. I'll be honest with you. The Drake is something I would listen to first day, and the Kanye I'd be like, in passing. I'm sure I'll hear the songs in passing. All right. So on to, I have a serious topic, but I'm going to save it to the end, because who wants to be serious, right? Let's talk about Shang Chi, checking out Shang Chi Thursday, and I can't wait. It's another MCU movie, and me and Marvel, I'm literally wearing a Black Panther shirt now. Everyone knows I'm a Marvel fanatic. It is what it is. It's kind of a lot of bit of who I am, right? Like, since I was a kid, I've been a comic book fanatic, Marvel Comics specifically. So the fact that I'm old as fuck now and I'm still in the comic books, it is what it is. It's just what it, like, same thing with hip hop. Like, these two things that just define, one of my interests, one of my hobbies, one of my characteristics is I love hip hop music and I love comic books. I love Marvel Comics. So I started reading Shang-Chi last night. I do admit that I'm kind of not sure about the backstory and the character. So I'm trying to do a little bit of research before I watch the movie. But of course, you don't have to have the extra research. I don't need to, but you know, you can watch that movie. When MCU, they always make it where you can watch it and not have to know the backstory. Super excited about it. I heard the homie Caleb had an early viewing of it for a review that he writes, and he said it's the best fighting scenes in a Marvel movie, which is pretty exciting. They've actually always had kind of lackluster fighting scenes, and I wouldn't expect anything less in a Shang Chi movie. Like, it's the first Asian minority-led MCU movie. So there's a lot riding on this. I love the fact that one of the executives made a statement in the press that said, "Oh, this is a test. We're testing with this movie." And the lead actor in Shang-Chi said, "No, this is not a test. You're not gonna play with us like that. Like, this is our movie. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta throw some respect on that." And I thought that was amazing. Clap back. Super excited about it. So obviously next week I'm gonna have my spoiler-free review of it. But yeah, Shang-Chi comes out this week. Can't wait. And it's only in theaters, which is a flex. I think that's what the guy was kind of talking about. Because, you know, Black Widow wasn't in theaters as well. It was in theaters and Disney Plus for $30. But this is going to be strictly theaters. And I already got my tickets for it. So, like, I'm already here for it. I already got my seat. Damn near, the popcorn's already ordered. Like, it's going down. It's a wrap. It's easy. Summer is coming to an end. It is the last day of August today that I'm recording this. And that means September's here, which also means that October is right around the corner and Halloween's coming. I need to order my contacts for Halloween. I need to get my outfit together. I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but something's going to happen for Halloween. I love Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. If there's ever a holiday that is near and dear to me, it's Halloween. I know that's kind of weird. It's kind of odd, but I fucking love Halloween. I think 2019 we were in New Orleans for Halloween. It was 2019 or 18. I want to say 19. Which I've been there twice for Halloween. Always do house parties or something like that. And obviously I don't think we're going to do that this year. I don't know what we're going to do, but got to do something with Halloween, something where I can dress up and go over the top because I just absolutely adore it. This summer was fun though. This summer in June, me and my wife definitely kicked it. We went to Mexico with 2 friends. We went to New Orleans for my 40th birthday with 5 friends. And I think 5 friends. 4 other friends. So 6 people total. And, you know, July and August has been good, you know. It's been a good summer. You know, life has its stresses. Life has its ups and downs. But, like, considering what we went through last summer, I'm going to say this summer was top notch. No one got sick. Like last summer, we ended up with over this past weekend. A year ago, this past weekend, we had COVID. A year ago to the day, and so I'm glad we're like past that, and we're not back to normal. A lot of turmoil in the world. A lot of Delta variant talk. I was playing Xbox. I was streaming this morning, and this guy that was I ended up playing a bunch of games with. He has COVID today, you know, and he was like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." I was like, "Yeah, but for you, it's not a big deal." But motherfuckers died. And then the other guy, who actually I do play often with, and you know, like for like the last year, honestly, cool guy. He was like, "Yo, like people go to like this lady I know this lady that I know of went to the hospital with COVID and died that day." Like, so like, no, it's not just, you know, like it's a real fucking thing, bro. Like it's the ignorance for me. It's the ignorance behind people for me. Like, just because it's not easy for you, like it was low key easy for me, but like it wasn't easy for my wife, and that scared the shit out of me. And I would not imagine anyone that I don't know. So yeah, you know, going forward, that's why we still gotta move in a certain way. You know, we still can't just go willy nilly. I still put my mask on. I'm waiting for the Razer Zephyr mask. When that comes on, I'm doing a whole episode about that shit. Like, I can't wait for the Razer Zephyr mask. I'm all about that shit. But I'm gonna be wearing masks for like probably ever, dude. Like, that's kind of been my thing going forward. Not too much I can, you know, I don't want to. I was just talking about how joyous summer is, and then I got back to COVID. But that's just kind of where we are. Last, I want to talk about is the horrible situation with Hurricane Ida, I believe. I know it's Hurricane Ida, but yeah, they made landfall I guess yesterday or 2 nights ago, and it's still fucked up. People, I just read this I just saw this horrible news article, video. This is a CBS News video of this lady. They were in their house. It was the flood was rising, and the husband went down to the shed to get something real quick, and she hears him scream. She looks down and she sees an alligator has ripped his fucking arm off. Okay, and she can't call the police because the phones aren't working. So she's freaking out. She gets into a boat, but they had a different name for it, and she goes and gets help. And by the time they come back, he is gone, and that's that. So, I mean, between the trees falling on houses and injuring people and killing people, the flooding, the almost million people in New Orleans without electricity, the 30,000 in Mississippi without electricity, my positive energy, vibes, and thoughts, which means nothing, but they go out to them. You know, like, I just hope that they can recover, get some relief. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of like the hour difference between the flooding. It's crazy, and it's heartbreaking. But man, Mother Nature can snatch anything up that it wants at any given time, and that's crazy. And that's the podcast, Rent Free with Tech Supreme, episode 11. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. Do me a favor, if you interact with this video on whatever platform that you feel comfortable with, it truly helps me to gain more exposure, to please all the algorithms. And there's so many algorithms in which I will never be a slave to algorithms. I understand that you need algorithms if you want to grow, and I definitely want to grow, but it's not the end of the world. But if you can, hit a like button, hit a follow, hit a subscribe button, comment, do whatever you can do if you like the podcast. If not, then hit the dislike button, because that helps too. So I want you guys to have a good day. Thank you again for listening. I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace and good day, or good night, or good morning, whenever you listen to this. Goodbye.
Rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Lives in your head rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Lives in your head rent free.